Hi. Okay, so for my senior project, I'm going to be painting a portrait of my grandpa, Jack Pullen, formerly known as my papa. Now, you might have seen him around at either my track meets or my soccer games because he's always there watching everything that I do, no matter what. But something that you might not know about him that I've always heard stories growing up about is that when he was 18 years old, he joined the Navy, and from 1951 to 1955, he served and fought in the Korean War, and he would tell us little story or little phrases that he still remembers in Japanese. And yeah, so keeping that in mind, I got the idea for this project in the beginning of the year when we had a dress up for Sailor Day. And so I went to the one sailor that I know and I asked him if he had anything that I could possibly wear. And the next day he came and brought me this. And when he gave it to me, he had it all cleaned and ironed. And this is what he wore when he was in the Navy, and it has his name on it. And he told me that since he had it for 60 years, he'd like to give it to me to have for another 60 years. And I thought it was really special, and I thought it needed a better place than just in a drawer. So I got the idea to possibly frame it and paint a picture of it. And so I found this picture of him when he was 18 and with his sailor hat. And so yeah, I'm going to try and paint it. Now, I've never took art classes at all, but the only kind of like drawing that I do is like sketching. So this is my first attempt to paint. And I thought that this would be a perfect time to do this, not only my senior project, but because this weekend is his 80th birthday, so that'd be the perfect way to give him a gift. And yeah, so I hope he likes it. Before I get started, I need a little bit of advice from a true art specialist. Hi, so this is Mrs. Johnson, and she is the current avid teacher, and I had her my freshman year for drafting, and she has her teaching credential as an art teacher. And so, a couple questions.
Okay.
What got you interested in art?
I always, I would say, had a gift for drawing. So when I was in elementary school, I would draw all the time. And people, would want me to draw things for them. And so I got a lot out of it, And that was just sort of my thing. And I still love to draw. I draw every day.
And what sort of art is your favorite, like sketching or painting, or what's your favorite?
I go through different phases, and I would say basically drawing is still number one because it's maybe not so much just drawing, but design in general. That's having spent so much of my life doing architecture. I love to, design residences and different spaces that would work for different uses. But sometimes when I get bored with that, which isn't too often, I like to paint, and my more recent thing is wildlife painting. So I've spent a lot of time studying wildlife and nature and trying to paint some nice things like that lately.
And what part about either painting or drawing do you like the most, or do you enjoy the most?
I think it's just the whole creative process, because it's very relaxing, and you learn something every time you start a new project, whether it's about the design of a building and how that would work better, or a technique if I'm doing an oil painting of my last thing was a bear, and I learned how to foreshorten, which is how to make something look long even if it's staring right at you, and dealing with the space, and often making it look three-dimensional and realistic and furry at the same time. So that's kind of fun.
Cool. How do you critique your art?
That's a hard one because I am very critical of my own work because I'm a very realistic, picky, obsessive painter. And and I don't let a lot of people see my work because I am that way. And so I try and back off and say, look, this is not for a museum, this is for you, and do the best you can and enjoy it. So I try to make myself, this isn't a job I'm getting paid for, so I might as well try and enjoy it since it's more of a hobby.
Okay, so now I'm going to begin painting. For this process, I have two major steps that I'm going to be taking. First is tracing, and the second is painting. Now, to trace it, I enlarged a picture of my papa, or the picture that I want to be painting, and what I'm going to do is shade the entire back of the page and use a cotton swab to make sure that the entire page is covered, and I'll be taping it down onto the paper that I'm going to be painting. And then using a pencil, I'm going to trace the certain features that I want to be highlighted. And now, because it's a sort of blurry picture, to trace it, I'm not going to have the exact replica of this, but I'm just going to be getting a broad idea of where his features are. And so that's the first step. And for painting, I'm just going to be using a black and white paint, and I'm going to be mixing the colors that I want for the certain shades on the picture. So that's the plan, and I hope you enjoy watching. Okay, now that I have my finished project, I'm going to be putting it in the frame. This is my shadow box that I have, the frame. And now before I do, I need to put his handkerchief on to the picture. Now, the way I'm going to do it is by using just little sewing pins to hold it onto the picture. So yeah. Okay, Papa. Okay, for your birthday present, before I give it to you, I need to tell you that for my AP English class, we need to do a senior project. And so it's like something that you've always wanted to do. And so I decided to make you a birthday present. So Austin, you can bring it out.
My goodness.
Ta-da! I found a picture of you when you were in the Navy, and I decided to paint it. And here's your handkerchief that you wore when you were in the Navy. And yeah, do you like it? Does it look like you?
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Well, happy birthday, Papa.
It's very good.
Thank you.